Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Digital Art with Ray. I am Ray and I'm here to do another video tutorial. I've been asked by some people to do a tutorial with Krita, and I've been asked quite a bit to do a tutorial with manual coloring. Not very happy doing manual coloring, but if someone asks for it, I'll definitely do it. So as you see here on the on the right hand side, we have our um, layers. You see that I have my sketch layer already done, as I always do to make things a little faster. And and the opacity is dropped down to 24. So at this point, we need to add a new layer. And to do that on Krita, you just go right here where the plus sign is, and it adds a new paint layer. Let's call this layer scat. I'm sorry. Let's call this layer inks. Now we need to take this layer, make sure that it's highlighted, change it from normal to multiply. Again, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that it's important to do your sketch layer, your inks layer rather, sorry, and multiply. This way when you go into color, you won't go over the lines. So I like to use the ink to Fineliner, which you can find here in the ink section of the brush presets. A lot of their brushes are pretty good. I can't complain about their brushes too much. So I'm going to use ink to Fineliner. So Control plus on a PC makes the zooms you in. Control minus zooms you out. Plus by itself does nothing. Also, it's a little different from Clip Studio Paint, which I've been using as just even for the simple eyedropper in Clip Studio Paint. It's I in this program. In Krita, it's P. So I will go over it whenever there is a change, a shortcut key change. So okay, so like I like to go zoom in a little bit, and let's start our inking process. Okay, let's start our inking process. Why is this not moving? It's not even. Oh, you know what? It's better if you plug it in. Okay, well, let's get our process started. I like to make my brush much smaller than this when I'm inking. So bracket left and right. Bracket left makes your brush size smaller. Bracket right makes it bigger. I'm gonna go here to about 2 pixels. Now let's do one. And I'm just gonna trace right over my sketch and not in that color. We have to come back here and make sure that it's black. I like to color in black. Ink in black. It makes things a little bit easier, but some people like to do it in different color. That's fine. But black works really well for me. So I'm going to go over my sketch, and I'm going to do it as close as I can. I might have to come in and zoom in a little bit because that line is bad. And to change your line, it's Control right bracket, we'll move it to the right. Control left bracket, we'll move it to the left. And remember, it is very easy, much easier to ink something when you move the screen, especially if you're having a problem getting a line correct. Also, if you remember me saying, it's good sometimes to take a break um, away from what you're doing if it's just not working for you and you're not happy with it and you just can't get it to where you want. Sometimes it's a good idea to just take a break. I usually don't like to do these thicker lines like this, but for whatever reason, the smaller pen of this is not working so well. And I'm so used to the G pen in Clip Studio that this is making it a little bit more. No, I wouldn't say difficult, but it is just different. Just different. Hopefully, it will look good once the inking is done. As I always say, inking is not exciting. It's not fun. It just is. You have to do it. If your lines are clean, if they're connected and they're clean, it makes coloring later on much easier, especially if you're doing automatic coloring, which I know I don't think that Krita offers that. I did look up online to different things, and I haven't seen anything that Krita offers like Clip Studio Paint does, where you just take the magic wand, highlight, and make a selection, and then use your paint bucket. Here it seems to work more like Procreate in on iPads. That you really have to like in order to just make this program kind of sort of. paint a little bit easier. You know, like in Procreate, you will go in, you'll follow along the inside of the line, you'll connect it, and then you put the paint bucket in and you fill it with that. The problem with that is that, at least I've noticed in this program, it doesn't work very well. Especially if, you know, it has to be like super perfect line art and all of that. And even if it is like really, really good, a lot of times it misses a lot. So for me, it's not worth it. I don't care for it. Um, and I don't use this program that often. I do like it. This is a free open source program for anyone can download this for free. Has a lot of functions. Again, I don't know as much about this program as I do about other programs, but I have to kind of brush up on this. But for what we're doing today, it's not anything that I don't know how to do here. So at the point of this recording, I have 98 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I've only been on here 8 days, and so I'm really happy, and I'm very proud of what I'm doing, and I'm grateful for everyone that has come and subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell. That bell will let you know every time I put up a new video, so you get to see it. YouTube doesn't always do the best at reminding you or letting you know that somebody that you follow has a new video. They don't do so well with that. So just better if you want to know when I am. You know what? This is terrible. I didn't do this. If you want to know when I put out a new video, or want to see one of my older videos, whatever, I only have this will be the 5th video I have up. Like I said, I just started this channel about 8 days ago, and I love doing art. I love explaining it. I love helping anybody out who might have a problem or wants to learn a little bit more about each program. Okay, let's see the inking on this. I guess it's okay. Oh, all right. I guess we'll. You know what? We're gonna. The real test is when we come off here and we increase the opacity back up to 100 on the sketch. So you can see that on my sketch, I always fill in black if I have anything that needs to be black. But right now, I have some black here in Barney. I'm going to leave that for now. But Fred's hair, I might just leave that for now too, because again, I'm not going to be doing this automatic coloring or coloring with the magic wand. So I think it's more beneficial for you guys who want to see this type of thing to see totally the way that it works. So, that's his hair. I'm trying to do this quickly, guys, and that's probably why I'm having it might not be as perfect as I usually try to do, but the coloring of this is going to take a while, and that's really kind of what people wanted, that people asked me for. So I want to make sure that the coloring is really kind of the most featured part of this whole thing, and I don't want it to be a really long video. So just inking this as quickly as I can. Hopefully it comes out good. We'll see. I think it will. I have to talk myself into like saying everything's going to be okay. Like I'm one of those people that are like, oh shoot, I messed it up. And I got to do it completely over, and I do everything over again, and it takes me like forever to fix or whatever to do it again. So I'm trying to break that habit of that, because it's not necessarily a good thing. I can't see it. Okay, so it's here. Let's do this here. Okay. This is no. All right. So yeah. All right. We're coming along. In the comments, let me know if you've used Krita. Let me know if you like it. I actually really do like this program. It's I just kind of wish that it had some more features. But this is 5.0. It's fairly new. I believe it came out in January, the update. So I haven't really had a chance to go over what the update really entails. I believe they've added quite a bit. I've seen some stuff online here on YouTube about it. There's a lot of like people really love it. I just haven't had the time to really go through any of the new features. I look forward to doing that though, because like I said, I do like this program. Uh, Close to being, pretty close to being done inking. This is a fairly straightforward, easy. Oh shit. This is a fairly straightforward, easy drawing. I didn't want to make anything too crazy or anything because, in the interest of time. There's that. Okay, let's see. Here we got his tie here. And who doesn't love Fred and Barney? Like seriously, who does not love a good Fred and Barney picture? I love Fred and Barney. I love the Flintstones. I had done actually in this program, I had done the whole Flintstone family and the Rebels, including Pebbles and Bam Bam. I really like that. Maybe at the end of this video, I'll show you that. Just the actual painting. So here again, we have some black because that's what Fred's uh, shirt, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, shirt pant combo has those black mm, things to fill in. But again, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do that in the coloring phase because again, I was asked to do everything manually. So I guess people want to see what the difference is. Like I said, some artists love to do this manually, love to do their coloring manually, and I mean, there's good and bad points to it. One of the bad points is it takes a really long time, but a good point is you have total control over what you're doing. Whereas if you're using like one of the other automatic kind of things, it doesn't come. Okay, this is terrible. It doesn't come as good. This here, there is like a colorized thing. I've tried it and I didn't like it. It didn't come out well for me at all. But I saw on YouTube somebody used it like 2 seconds and boom, their thing was great. So I just probably just have to work with it a little bit more. I just kind of wanted to see what the deal was because I had heard about it. I had seen a video on it. I was like, oh, that's cool. That would make life easier. But it's really not going to make my life easier, honestly. Okay. So it looks like our inking is done. This is a lot thicker of an ink than I wanted to do, but let's see. We can move the sketch, go to the opacity to 100. Okay, the sketch came out pretty good. I can't complain. I mean, the inking came out pretty good. I really can't complain. Looks good. Okay, so our next thing we need to do is come down here, do where you see in our layers property. I want you to come down to the plus. Just hit plus once, and it gives you a new paint layer. Let's call this one flats Barney. So we're gonna color Barney first, and we're gonna do flat coloring on Barney. I like to put every character on a different layer, only because if you mess something up, it's easy to fix. If I have everybody on one layer, then if I make a mistake with Barney, let's say, and then it gets into Fred's area, I don't want that. It's just always good to label your layers and also to do to use as many layers as possible, especially if you have multiple kind of characters or whatever in your painting. I'm going to really quickly come down here. I'm going to grab a picture so I can see the colors. Okay, I don't know what's on your screen, but I'm just going in to look for Fred and Barney. Let's see, so I can just get the colors of them. It's always good to have a kind of a reference image. Let's see. Okay, here's one that's pretty decent. Let's see. All right, so Barney's. What's going on here? Where's the picture? Okay, so Barney has blonde hair. He's got light peach hair. Okay, let's start with his hair, and then we'll come back to do his skin tone. So his hair is yellow. So let's go. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys noticed. I moved the flats underneath the inks. The inks need to be on the top part of the top thing on your layers. So whenever you put another layer in, just make sure that you put it below the inks. That nothing is above the inks layer. Okay, so we're gonna come in and color his hair. His hair is blonde. So let's go in here and get a yellow color. And it's kind of like orangey blonde. So maybe it's something like this. Let's try that. And so we're going to come in. You can use different brushes. You really have to like kind of figure out what works best for you. I like using the same brush that I use to ink to color with. It just seems to me it just works a little bit better. So I'm increasing the size of my brush just slightly so we can take some time. And you just come in here and try not to get out of the lines, and you color in Barney's hair. Okay, Barney's hair looks a little more orange than I would like. Let's come out and make his hair a little bit more blonde. What happened here? What in the heck is happening? Guys, give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I don't know what you just did, but I'm gonna put it. Brought Barney's back up on top, so let's bring that down under the inks, and let's just make his color more blonde. All right, let's do that. So we're gonna come in here, and we're just gonna paint in, and we're gonna try our best to stay in the lines. If we come out of the lines, we can simply erase it, but we'd prefer not to come out of the lines if possible. And you can see that because we're under a multiply layer, as we color along, none of our line art is being taken away. I mean, if this was a darker color, it might blend a little bit more in, but it's not. Okay, so let's do his skin tone. So there's two different skin tones on him. He's a lighter here, and over here in the arms, and then here, of course, where he has like his shave or whatever, like his face where may be a little stubble. That's a slightly bit darker than his skin tone. So let's come into orange, and let's get a nice skin tone for him. His skin tone's pretty light. I don't think it's that light. Let's try this. Let me see in the corner. No, not really. Just, so I don't want it too dark because he's not dark. That's too. Let me see this. What's this look like? All right, let's use this one. That's good. Okay, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna use this lighter color through here and then on his arms. And after that, we'll go in and we'll do his other area. But there's the nose and all of that will be this color. So just gonna come in like I said, and we're gonna make sure that we color it in and not get out of the lines. Like I said, this is a very long way to do it. But again, I've seen many people just they love this. They love to do it this way. They love, it's almost like a coloring book for them, and they enjoy it. And they're in some ways they're right. Like I said, this does keep you gives you the most control over your color and over where everything goes. But in the same respect, it takes a really long time when you can just, do something quickly. And then if you need to fix it, you can go in and make minimal changes. But at this point, this video is all about coloring manually. And you know what? While I'm like doing this, it is kind of relaxing. I have to admit, it is relaxing. I can't say this is terrible. But again, this is also a fairly simple drawing. So there's not a lot to them, which is why I picked this because I didn't want a video. If I didn't want something that was intricate and we'd have a video for like 3 hours. And I'm in desperate need of a haircut, so I really don't want to go live right now. Let's get the other arm there. I mean, if you're having problems getting the color in and you're not able to do it as quickly as I am or to stay in the lines as I do, don't worry about it. It just takes time. You get the feeling of your pen. You'll definitely get the feeling of the pen and on what brush you're using because all the brushes work differently. I thought maybe I'd do something a little textured, but I tried it and I didn't like it. It didn't come out well. So I'll keep experimenting. So maybe the next time I do something in Krita, maybe I'll do something that's not a cartoon character that does have some like stuff that really needs to have some texture. And maybe even at the end of this, I can put something with texture in this. Right? No, right here. Maybe make the brush a little bit bigger just to kind of get this out of my way quickly. The bigger the brush, the harder it is to control, harder it is to keep this stuff in the lines. Again, if you aren't able to do this like me, don't worry about it. You will definitely get it. It'll take a little bit of time, but you'll definitely get it. All right, so now this is a slightly darker color. So we're going to come in here. Oh, it looks like I missed this spot. We're going to come in here. We're going to hit P. Oh, it's already there, but let's get used to that. We're going to hit P to bring up our eyedropper. We'll click in here. And then over here, we want to make it darker, just a little bit, maybe that. And we can come in here, you hit B for brush, and let's try to get this darker color in here. Okay, that looks good, actually. That has a nice contrast. Let me make this a little bit bigger so we're not like going in through this forever. Actually, let me make it real small. I want to make it so like, the person who's doing this for the first time, we'll see how long this takes as you see it in real time. And I think this color works. I mean, I think it's a little darker than what I would have liked, but hey, for our intents and purposes here, it's fine. I'm really just trying to show you how manual coloring works. So, let's see. And also Krita, some people had asked, like I said, some people had asked me to do something in Krita. And maybe at some point, I'm going to do a Clip Studio Paint Pro tutorial on how to use some of the different brushes there and all of that. Maybe I'll do that here too. So I have some tutorials for both Krita and Clip Studio Paint. Okay. All right, so we're almost done in here. Okay, so Barney's looking pretty good. Let's put a little red in there for the tongue. Want that very saturated. Come in here really quickly and just, there we go. He's got his tongue. He's good. All right. Also, we have some black for these eyeballs, which I didn't do during the inking or the flatting or the excuse me, the sketching stage. So let me just easily and quickly let me make the brush a little smaller. And just there we go, and there we go. I don't like that. Maybe okay. I don't know what happened, but I don't like that. I guess I need to have his eyes white. Maybe that I don't remember doing that in the sketch or whatever. But hey, it is what it is, right? All right, so let's go back in here quickly since I messed it up. Hit B for brush and just quickly get this. See if we have any line, any spare. Yeah, we've got little things here and there that we need to clean up, but in general, it's not bad. Okay, so somehow okay, I must have went too far. Let me get the red for his tongue again. 1, 2, 3. Oop, there we go. All right, now this comes. Now we're at the point where I need to see what color Barney's shirt is. So come down here, look at the picture of Barney, and it's brown. It's just a general brown color, darker brown than his face. So let's see. So I'm just going to go into orange, and I'm going to take it mid down here. Nice chocolate. That almost looks like a chocolate brown. Let's use that. So we're going to come in here, and we are going to color in his shirt, whatever you want to call this. And get all the color in with no spots if possible. So you stick close to the line there, to your line art, so it makes it a little bit easier for you not to go into that if you don't have to. So your color won't get stuck, where that flesh color is. We definitely don't want that. Make this a lot bigger so this takes that time. So if you were doing this manually, like I am doing, and you would probably use a smaller brush because if you're a beginner and you don't know how to use, you're a little bit more nervous about the brushes and getting the color out of the lines. Don't worry, you can make the brushes smaller. For certain things, I do make it smaller, but for this is just a lot of surface area to work with, and I just don't want to make this video all that long. So let me just get in here and do this as quickly as possible. And with this, I try to go over it twice because it gives me that darker color. I guess when you're using it as a paintbrush, as opposed to an inking kind of thing, it gives you that double color kind of thing. It's a more about opacity, I guess. So it's cool though. I don't mind, and it shows you, that there's going to be times where you're going to need to go over stuff. See, I went out of the lines a little bit. I'll clear that up in just a few minutes. I just want to get his thing done here, and then I'll figure that out. I'll get rid of that outside that I did. And we're almost done with Barney. All right, so let's go. If we press E, that will be our eraser. I can make it smaller. And I'm trying to find where I went out of the line. Somewhere in here. So, ooh, see, I thought that was on the eraser, but it's not. Okay, this should be the eraser now. Yeah. So you hit E for eraser, and then hit E again, and it brings up your brush. Okay, let's take a look at Barney. So zoom out a little bit and take a look at Barney. Okay, Barney's looking okay. We have Barney done, which is great. So okay, Barney. Now we have Fred to do, and Fred's coloring is about the same. I'd say the coloring of his face might be um, slightly darker than we have here for Barney. Okay, so next we're going to do is we're going to make another layer because again we put flats Barney. So now I want to do a flats layer for Fred. So let me get. So again we hit push the plus sign here, and it comes up as a print layer. Double click it, and we'll put flats Fred. And this time it did nicely go in right under the inks without any problem. So the first thing I'm going to want to do, and I don't know if I'm going to do this here, is I want to click here and make the skin tone of just a little bit lighter. Yeah, I don't think that works. Let's see, G, this color. Okay, and then I want to move it slightly over, and we can get it. Ooh, I also got to get into his hair. Actually, let me do that first. This way, it's out of the way. Okay. So we'll go into B to get into our brush. Just slowly, just make the little areas that we missed. I don't even know that I missed it. I think I just didn't. I think I was just really lazy when I was inking. Okay, that looks better. All right, so let's go into that color that I was saying probably right about here, and let's see how that looks. How that looks. Okay, I can do that. That works. So it's going to be his skin here, like Barney's. Here will be that lighter color. His nose, his arm that's around Barney, and his legs will be this color. And then there'll be slightly darker color right in here. Okay, so let's just try to get in here and get Fred done. Okay. Make the brush a little bit smaller just to get in here. I really don't want to get it into his hairline if I can help it. So I just made the brush smaller to get around there, and maybe just a little bit here too, just to get around here. I can make the brush a little bit bigger, not that big, to get more surface area because we're not going into tiny areas right now. Even this area here that's a little bit narrow, I can still get into it without having a problem. Okay, so this base is done. Remember again, this whole spot is going to be a little darker. Let's do his hand here. I'm going to stay this size for right now, only because his fingers are not that big, so it's a smaller surface area, and I don't want to, you know, screw around with the eraser too much to deal with like an area. Now I made it bigger to get through the rest of his arm here. There's more surface area. Remember to make the brush bigger or smaller the left bracket makes it smaller, the right bracket makes it bigger. So I made it really much bigger now, just so I can lay the color in here. And again, it's really good to try to get like as close to the edge. If you get really close to the edge here of your line art, it really kind of gives you a guide where you know this isn't where you're not going past this. Okay, so let's go down to his. Let's go here because this is Fred's hand around Barney. And now for Fred's legs and feet. Okay, see, there it's a little bit too big. Let's make it a little smaller. So I get in here. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger now because I have more room. Okay. So you can see like where I'm going into smaller areas. I'm just taking my time. I'm going very slowly um, over those areas because if you just go little by little, it'll the paint will catch itself to the end, and you won't go through the lines. But again, at the end of the day, like you'll find what works for you best. And you know, like I said, I'm really not the guy that likes to do this all traditionally, like all at once. It's too much for me. It's a lot. But you know what? I wanted to show you guys how it's done. So let's see here. Let's see the first picture that I have. So okay, so his nose is the same skin tone, and then it gets the darker. Okay, so let's get his nose done really quickly. It's the same color as the rest of his body. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go slightly darker for his face. Let's see what this looks like. Uh, maybe a little bit lighter than that. Let's see. Okay, that works. So we're just gonna come in this area here and just give him this little bit of shadow, maybe a 5 o'clock shadow from not shaving or whatever Fred decided to do that day. So we're just getting in here. And again, like I said, when you get to areas that are small and you have a bigger brush, you just go slowly and slowly allow it. The paint will catch to the area that you want. But you know, there's always going to be times where you go over the line. And if you do, you get the eraser and you just erase that spot. Not a big deal. Hmm. You know what? I'm not sure what this is. I'm gonna make it. Okay. Right. Okay, so it's slightly darker. The color is good. I like it. It's not bad. It works for what we need. It works well. Oh, again, the red in the mouth. I'm gonna go very saturated with that. So all the way up here. Oh, actually, I could just do this because I did this color before, and I just go done. All right, now the next part of this is let's see. It's his. I'm gonna do the tie first, and let me see what color the tie is. Tie is like an aqua blue. All right, so let's go into cyan, and there we go. That actually that color is perfect for me. So we're just going to do the tie, and I'm going to bring the brush size down smaller. Just, this is not the same. There we go. And then that little spot, let it catch. There you go. And in here, okay, good. And then this part here, and we got his tie done. And this is pretty much spot on what the color is, at least on the picture reference that I've seen. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing it when I look at another picture to see colors. If you don't, I'm sorry. If you do, that's great because you can kind of see where I'm coming off of. All right, so the tie is done. So the only other thing we have to do is, you know, clean up this black if that I haven't, you know, from stuff that I haven't cleaned up too well, and fill in the top his shirt there. So his shirt I believe is orange. Yeah, it's kind of an orange. So let's try to find that. So we're here in the orange family. It's orange. It's not like I like that kind of orange. It's like an orange. It almost seems too orangey, too dark. Let me see. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, I can deal with that. It's not the exact color, but it's close enough. So I try to go into the smaller areas first that you know might potentially give me an issue. So that's right in here. I'm going to make the brush size much bigger because this is going to take a long time. If I don't. So could be a little tricky because you've got a bunch of those like dot things to go around, and you just see like I went in, so I control Z'd it as in zebra. That undoes your last action. I don't know how many undos it gives you here in this program. I'm not sure. I know that Clip Studio gives you 100. I'm doubting that that's what you get here, but I don't know. I can look for you. There's probably something in the settings that you can use to change it higher or lower, but I haven't bothered with that. So I really want to get this done. Okay, there we go. So like I said, when you're in like small areas, all you do is you just slowly you let the brush do the work. If you let the brush do the work, then it's much easier. See, I'm just going down with my pen and then just pushing. You see, well, I don't know why my pen do that, but you see that right there? It's just pushing up against that line, not over the line, up against it. And then that's kind of my guide. I know that I can't go past that. Let's do this here. Let's get it all the way down to the bottom because it'll make my life easier. Okay, so right now I have this kind of off, cut off, just so I can get in and do the rest of this. I guess this pen isn't as good as for larger areas because I do have to go over it a few times to get the exact color to match the color. But I don't really right now. I don't have the time to. I'm just kind of pulling the other color down so it all mixes together well. Okay, so here you have another area where you're going around not only a spot but also the line art. So down in here where you have less room, you just kind of tap, let the brush do its job, like I said. In here where it's small, yep, there you go. You let the brush do its job. That looks pretty good. We'll go back and do the black and the things here right after. But I just kind of want to get this done as quickly as possible. The videos, I'm sure, are already really long. But I really appreciate all of you that stick around, that like what I do, and it's just great. It's a nice feeling to know that other people like what I do, and they take the time to watch what I do. Because I know some of my stuff can be long, but I just appreciate every single person that comes here, that has subscribed, that watches my videos. It's just I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And see, I got a little thing here. I'll go back with the black and just go over that when it's time. I'm not gonna go crazy over it. I'm not gonna get a bunch of undos and redo it all over again. It's just not worth it. Again, I'm just hugging the edge there so that I know that I don't go past that. There we go. All right, now here is going to be a bit different because I have it here. Okay, and I don't want to get it in that area, but I think I might. I did. Again, it's not that big of a deal because I just go in with the thing. I'm just looking around, see if I missed any spots. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so the final thing we need to do is these things here. So I just hit P for the eyedropper, and I'm going to hit B for my brush. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to, if I have to, I'm just going to just fill in some of this stuff. Get rid of that orange that we did by mistake in here. Okay. That's it, I think. Let me just check. Let me zoom out of this. And here you have Fred and Barney completed in Krita manually being manually colored. Okay, so when you save in this, it's kind of the same as what I showed you in Clip Studio Paint. You go to File, you go to Save As. It's already saved in here as Fred and Barney. But you have I save it as a Krita document first. This way, if you have to make any changes or anything, then you're able to get your layers and stuff. I'm going to save that. It's going to tell me that it already exists. I'm going to say yes to place it. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to save it again. File, Save As. We're going to keep Fred and Barney, and this time we're going to change this to PNG because that's really best for web and or even if you just want to send it to someone. So PNG image, and we're going to hit save, and it's going to tell us, they're going to ask us for all of this stuff. I really don't bother with this. Also, save your image as a Krita file. Yeah, sure. No, because I've already done that. So I'm going to click that off and hit OK. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, please, if you like my videos, if you get something out of them, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll get notifications when I come back with a new video. And thanks again so much, everyone, for watching and for everything. I appreciate it. And keep drawing. Thanks so much. Bye bye.